And welcome in to another edition of Drawing a Crowd, the business of sports tourism. I'm Stan the Fan Charles, and with me, as always, is my co-host, the Executive Director of Maryland Sports and Vice President of the Maryland Stadium Authority, Terry Hasseltine. Happy holidays to you.
To you too, sir. Great to be here.
And you've brought a special guest with us. It's James Simmons, who's the Deputy Director for Wicomico County Recreation, Parks, and Tourism. He's going to talk about the Governor's Challenge basketball event, right, James?
Absolutely, yeah.
But before we do that, and that's coming up December 26th through the 30th down in Wicomico County at the Wicomico Civic Center, where James and I were just talking that Jimmy Connors used to play in.
Yes.
This one's the newer building, but
Yep.
he used to play down there. But before we do that, this is our last show of 2024.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing these through 2025 and hopefully 2026. That's an inside joke. But seriously, brief recap of some of the highlights of 2024. I'm imagining the 5-star is the big highlight for you.
Well, it's a huge highlight for us because it's an event that was bid on in a very long and cycle. It's at a location in which we, along with the Stadium Authority and the state, invested to build a facility specifically for the activity, and to be able to bring what was on paper to life and actually do it. And now just get done with the 4th year of it and watching our numbers grow 11.5% year over year in attendance, watching our revenues continue to grow. That event is about to break through in the years to come. And 2024 was definitely a great year for the 5-star.
I want to give credit, too. That was Governor Hogan that put the go-ahead on that, the green light on that.
It was Governor Hogan, and then our team, obviously, with the 5-star, Jeff Newman, Marissa Melzer, Joni Morris, and the like, just rolling up their sleeves and really making that place really come to life, and changing it year after year and making sure that every year there's an elevation point. So kudos to the team at the 5-star. Kudos to the leadership for giving us the resources and the tools to make it happen. And Governor Moore has continued to support it in his years in office too.
All right. The CIAA, it's going to be back this year for its 4th. Is it the 3rd or 4th?
4th.
Year.
4th year.
How big a success has that been?
That's another one of those events where you just look year after year and what Visit Baltimore and the city have done, along with Commissioner McWilliams. And as we've talked about, she's just a dynamo in her own right. But what they've done to really build a brand, to build a portfolio of deliverables and activities, and it's beyond just basketball. It's, a bunch of community activities. It's a meet and greet type opportunity. It's, fiscal literacy. You're talking about bands, you're talking about cheerleaders, you're talking about stomp groups and stuff. So it's really bigger than just a basketball tournament. It's a collective whole of bringing HBCU community in the Division II level together under the CIAA umbrella, and it gives the city of Baltimore just a really great week of festive activities.
How's it doing at the new arena?
It's doing great. Attendance was up this last year. The competition on the court is getting better and better every year. People are getting accustomed to coming to Baltimore, so they're learning, where all our niche little restaurants and watering holes are, as well as, knowing, where the entertainment, sites are. So they're really coming and enjoying Baltimore and the state of Maryland while they're here.
You had the kickball tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Turf Wars.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that and how many people that brings into town.
Well, that was down in Prince George's County. It brought in 70 adult kickball teams from across the country. We made the ESPN top 10 plays of the week. We actually were number 3. Guy catching a ball over the wall and then doing a flip and throwing the ball back into play. It was really dynamic, and it's you think about it, here we just got done talking about basketball, equestrian, and and the like, and here you're talking about adult kickball. And the thing that Ariane and his team have done with Mars Play is, they created an opportunity in a package that just is really dynamic. It's a fun weekend of not just kickball, but there's music and there's food and there's camaraderie and the like. And it's just another one of those great gathering spots. And they've done a tremendous job, and we're really proud to be a part of it.
Okay. The soccer matches. Tell us a little bit about those.
Well, it seems like
one in Annapolis,
one in Annapolis,
one in M&T.
Yep. this year was obviously a great year for soccer in general. The challenging part that we had probably in the state this year is there is so much soccer product globally being played this year with the Euros and then the Olympics and the like. We had great atmosphere down in Annapolis. Elite tournaments, elite promotions, did a great job, building up that product down there. Working obviously with the Blues and what they've been doing in Annapolis with their attendance. And then when it's all said and done, they just did a really nice job. Cool mid-tier, matchup. Wish attendance could have been a little better, but I think a lot of it was a little bit of the soccer burnout from the Euros and then the Olympics and the like. And then the one up at M&T, Bank Stadium, great crowd, again, great energy, bringing European soccer, to the States. People seem to really like seeing the soccer product in NFL stadiums. It seems to draw an additional interest, football versus football kind of attitude.
Two more things. Ocean's Calling, because we had
Tom Palazzo,
won a few weeks back. Big success.
Oh, the concert series that Ocean City is creating between Ocean's Calling and Country's Calling now, and stay tuned. There might be another one in that product line. But
Terry Hasseltine's Calling.
You don't want to hear me sing. Matter of fact, you probably don't want to hear me talk too much. But when it's all said and done, great job by the team down in Ocean City putting together a music festival that has filled every hotel. The restaurants are happy as can be, and they're bringing in big acts and putting things in and around it that are beyond just music. It's growing, and I think you will see a good long story there.
Two more things real quick. Army-Navy is coming up. It's not at M&T this year, but it's at Northwest Stadium, the former FedEx Field. That's still big for the state.
It's big for the state, obviously. You're down at Northwest Mutual Bank Stadium. The Commanders are doing a great job, making sure all the assets are in place and make sure, both the Army and Navy, team and their spectators and the future leaders of our country have a great experience. And then the following year, and it comes here to M&T Bank Stadium, home of the Baltimore Ravens. So back-to-back years being in the state of Maryland, it's a huge way awesome. It's a huge way to close out the year. And obviously we're going to be talking about someone who really closed out the year because this event runs right up to the new year.
Last thing.
Yep.
We know the bike race was postponed or canceled because of the bridge collapse, the Key Bridge collapse. The assets it would have taken, it seemed inappropriate to put that much energy into that this year. It's due back for 2025.
It's due back in 2025 in a big way.
We're at 26.
And 26. And we're adding a women's race this year.
Okay.
So not only will you see the best men in racing in the world, you're also going to see the best women in the world racing here on the streets of Baltimore County and Baltimore City. The weekend after Labor Day, we're going a weekend later. One, it lines better with the international calendar. Two, talking with all of our sponsors and the people around the event, say if we can get up a holiday weekend, a lot more activation, a lot more attendance, because of it. Not being up against family time, up against the last weekend of the beach kind of thing. So we'll be on September 6th on a Saturday. And it's also the same weekend the LA Dodgers will be in town too. So it'll be, cycling on the roads, big baseball in the ballpark.
All right. He's been patient.
He
Tell
has.
us a little bit about your relationship with James Simmons, the Deputy Director of Wicomico County Recs, Parks, and Tourism.
Well, our guest today, James, has been a colleague and a friend since basically the inception of the Maryland Sports Commission being developed. James has grown in his role in Wicomico County, from the guy who used to orchestrate everything behind the scenes, water jugs to everything like that, to now being a key decision maker and leader in the department down in Wicomico County. Smart guy, put together a tremendous product that we're going to talk about today, and just proud to call him a friend. Because he, like I said, he took something from scratch and really built it and developed it into something that's world class and the largest high school holiday tournament in the country.
It's the Governor's Challenge basketball event taking place at Wicomico Civic Center December 26th through the 30th. First of all, what year is this of the tournament?
This will be year 42. So
Wow.
we started in 1981 with 4 teams. Well before me.
God, I was going to say, I thought you were like about
I've been
2
doing it
years
since I
old
was
when you
5.
started.
Yeah. No, a local coach that somehow is still coaching. He's actually coming into his 59th season, Butch Waller, at Wicomico High School, started the event with 2 local schools, Wicomico High School and Crisfield, 2 small schools, and then 2 powerhouses. We had DeMatha and we had St. John's from D.C. Those were the original 4 schools in the event. and it's obviously changed quite a bit since 1981. But
tell us a little bit about the current format right now. How many teams play, and are they from multiple, mid-Atlantic states?
Yeah, it goes a lot further than that.
I mean,
so the best way I can explain it is if you took March Madness on the collegiate level and you squeezed it into one single week and you did it in one single town, that's pretty much what we've built on the high school level. So this year we'll have 140 schools from
140 schools.
140 schools, 16 different states and Canada. So we span the entire country. We've got California, Arizona, Utah, up to Canada, down to Florida, Ohio, Kentucky, the whole Mid-Atlantic. It's been a tremendous turnout across the country now.
Well, I know from interviewing Terry and our friendship, that's music to his ears when you hear 140 teams, because that's 140 of the players and their families and cousins and aunts and uncles. What kind of economic impact does this Governor's Challenge basketball event?
Well, I'm gonna lead that to James, because obviously he's living it and breathing it every day. You hit the nail on the head. Stan, you're talking 140 teams. You're looking at rosters anywhere from 9 to 12 players plus coaching staffs, and because they're high school kids, mom and dad and brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles are traveling in over the holiday season. So it's a great event for the Lower Eastern Shore, but it's really a great event for the state of Maryland, because it's during a time and period where it's really pretty quiet in most parts of the state, and they really showcase our state. He's created a great television product that goes along with the event too. So they do a selection show and a whole draw show and stuff like that. So like I said, it started from humble beginnings, but since James come on board, he's been able to take a vision and grow it and strategize it differently. And like you said, NCAA basketball tournament shrunk into 1 week in one location on the Lower Eastern Shore of Maryland. No wonder why people consider us to be the epicenter of basketball.
James, number one, did it start 42 years ago with the name Governor's Challenge?
It did not start with the name Governor's Challenge. So I'm going to kick back to Terry, because that was actually 2 years before I started. I started an internship. And
Martin O'Malley insisted that the name.
Yes, no, everyone retired or left, and I was the only one left. They had to give it to somebody so it didn't cancel. And I ended up latching onto it for many years. It's my hobby now. But Terry was around in 2010 whenever it rebranded.
Yeah, because one of the things that we did originally is because of the combination of Maryland schools and Delaware schools. Yeah. And there was a little camaraderie amongst the two governors about, Smith Island cake and trading off the wares of the states and the like. And then, it keeps kicking it back to me. But at the end of the day, we're just brainstorming and the like, and having something where, in this case, it would be Governor Moore could challenge, a governor from somewhere, or Delaware, or now because we have
16 governors,
with 16 governors to say, hey, look at what we're doing here in Maryland.
Or
and
Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, it's a
even though he's not the governor.
But it's a pride factor and the like, and anytime you can put the name governor on something, it shows that you're leading the charge of something. And so with James and the team down in Wicomico County, he'll admit it, he's got a whole slew of people that work on this, from volunteers to strategic partners and alliances. They're able to put the governor's brand on an activity that shows that they're leading the space in high school basketball during the holiday season.
Now, 4 days, or 26, 27, 28, 29, 5 days.
5 days, yep.
5 days, 140 teams. Is it all taking place at the Wicomico Civic Center,
It's
or
not.
is it playing at a lot of local high school gyms?
We have 5 venues. So the Civic Center is our hub. We do 2 courts in there. That's where we'll see the majority of our 15,000 attendees over the course of the week. But then we have Wicomico High School across the street. We also work with Salisbury University, so our Division III school in town. They're a great group to work with. Right. University of Maryland Eastern Shore as well. The Division I school in the MEAC, we utilize their facility, and then another local high school as well. So we were at 5 venues at once, 6 courts at once, 136 games in 5 days this year. So.
And price of tickets?
$15. It's $15. You can watch 14 games for a little more than $1 a game if you come.
That is that is off the charts.
Yes.
Off the charts. Tell us a little bit about the scheduling. In other words, do games start at like 9 a.m.?
We run 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every single day, basically. So we actually, last year while we were at the event, we built out the schedule grid for this coming year's events. We'll probably do the same thing this year, but it's a year-long process. Like Terry said, the first couple of years I did it, I'm cutting my teeth and learning, drinking out of a fire hose and learning tremendously. And then I realized very quickly I needed help, and I found some tremendous partners and really friends to this day. Like we've built a family. I've literally tapped into my family to be able to run this event at the holidays, and it's been tremendous support.
He has young children that he's obviously building up the future network. Yes,
10 children. Yeah. Terry, with the CIA, a community event, and a lot of events, being that it's the holidays, is there more than the basketball games? I mean, are there like collective eating things and
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So I think the unique thing with my title where I'm at, and the unique thing with this event in general, most of the time you'll see a county host an event or an event operator operate an event. We do all of it as one department, which I think is really unique when you look at it across the state. It's a truly homegrown event from us. So, my hat was in recreation and parks. I'm thinking about how we can impact the community. So just in the last couple of years, we've added some really awesome opportunities. Like this year, we're feeding 500 families leading into the holidays. We've partnered with our local Board of Education and local management board that we're feeding 500 families with food boxes leading into the holidays, and we're flooding 2,000 tickets out into the market to those families so that they can use those as Christmas gifts. They can come to the event, experience the event with their family. Then when they get there, we've also been operating a toy drive for the last month. So Santa will be there in the lobby. We're giving out hopefully 500 toys to those families, and they're going to get a great experience. And then we've got youth scholarships that we've created. We've got a scholarship named after the gentleman that started the event, Butch Waller. We give out, two $1,000 scholarships to a boys and girls player from around the Eastern Shore. Trying to think what else we've done. We've done free youth clinics. We've really tried to focus in on the community and grow deep roots in the community. And it's all about the experience. We want the whole local community to embrace what this is.
And you've been around it for a while now.
Yep.
How special is it to the players?
That's why I keep doing it. That's why I fell in love with it. I think one of the coolest things I've seen, and what I think still motivates me to this day, like seeing a kid from Baltimore City. They took the 2-hour bus ride. They came down. We bring them in the back like they're coming into an NBA arena. They come into this team lounge where we have barbers set up cutting kids' hair. We got TVs. We got video games. We got massage chairs sitting there. We got all kinds of an experience for them. But when they turn the corner and their eyes just pop out of their head when they walk into the arena. And I think seeing that early on, I realized, all right, we're onto something here. Like, the more teams we can get down here that see this, it's spread like wildfire.
I always say Terry's my co-host, and then I ask all the questions. Do you have any questions?
No, in all fairness, I'm enamored, greatly by what he's done and what he's doing and continues to do, and how he keeps facilitating and bringing more people into the family to, as he described it, and just watching this thing grow. And, obviously, we're a champion of it, from the Maryland Sports Commission. We think it's a great event for the state, but we really think it's a great event for Wicomico and the Lower Eastern Shore because there's devotion, dedication, and there's community give back. So, James has hit on all the key, cogs that are associated with what makes a really great event. And I just, I don't have any question to ask him because I feel like I know the event. As a matter of fact, I think I have it tattooed on my back. But no, at the end of the day, it's just a tremendous event for the state. And my question to James is not really a question, it's a statement. Just keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I've had tremendous support from Maryland Sports Commission, but Terry in general, like I said, I started as a 22-year-old kid, and I've been able to have him as a mentor and some other great ones as mentors that I try to keep pushing that.
Better than having Terry
no,
as a mentor.
It doesn't.
No
it doesn't.
Yeah.
The event, as the day goes on from 10 a.m., do the crowds kind of build at the main arenas, like the two courts at Wicomico Civic Center? Is it like really popping into an electric event?
Yeah. It starts, the breakfast games, as we call them, are a little bit slower. We have to kind of create some more of that energy, but by the evening time, usually by 3 p.m, you start to see it build. And then for the evening games, we've got top teams coming in from all across the country. We've got probably the most electric girls basketball player in the country, Gigi Banks,
So
that's from Delaware. We've got a girls, so we combined both the girls and boys into one event, and we do it simultaneously. So you've got one of the top girls in the country that is the most entertaining to watch. She's stellar, and then we've got this team from Arizona coming in has 5-star recruits sitting on their bench. I mean, they're that loaded. Their future.
That a women's team?
No, they're a men's team. Yeah, they're top 3 in the country. They've got one of their players is from Finland that he is a shoo-in as a lottery pick in 2 years.
So how did it grow from the 4 teams just around 2 to where it's 140 teams now from this, as far away from Arizona? How did this little tournament morph into this?
Yeah, I think
hard work.
There's a lot. The stars have definitely aligned on it. I think I will toot my horn and say I have probably gone overboard and obsessed about it. Like, this is my hobby. This is what I do for fun. So it's my job, but it's what I do for fun. My wife will vouch for that. I probably drive her insane with that. But we've built, I've been passionate about it. I've found other people that are passionate about it. We've really built a family around it that truly loves doing it. So I've got not just a right-hand man, I've got a left-hand woman in our crew that runs our whole creative side. We've built a tremendous team, and I think just time and consistency. And once we gave a great experience to a number of teams, the word of mouth on coaches spreads like wildfire.
2 other things I was going to ask you. Obviously, you've got a staff. Is it mostly volunteers?
It's a mix.
You still need volunteers to
It's
work
a
on
mix.
the tournament?
We've got, some of our full-time staff from our county. We've got some amazing volunteers that, may or may not be married to some of our staff. But we've got some amazing volunteers. We've got a heck of a part-time, crew and different partnerships that we work with. So we're always looking for volunteers, though. I mean, any event we're always looking for support there.
How do they reach out to you?
Yeah, if they go onto our website, govchallenge.org, there is a volunteer tab there. You can see the different opportunities available and put in the form.
Govchallenge.org.
Yep.
And gov is G-O-V.
G-O-V, yep.
Challenge.org.
Correct.
And the second was, have you been able to monetize advertising at the arenas? In other words, are local businesses stepping up?
They absolutely are. We would not be able to do it. There's obvious support from Maryland Sports, and the grant fund that they've created for the state is phenomenal. But yes, on the local, regional, national advertising side, I mean, we've been able to develop a relationship with Under Armour as a partner. Down to our local car dealership as our presenting sponsor, down to local restaurants. We raise a significant amount of money to do the event and put it on the way that we do.
And is there a trophy awarded to the winning teams, the men's and women's team?
We've got
MVPs
we've got nearly 30 different brackets going on. But yeah, they get a banner for their gym. They get a championship custom ball. They get all kinds of prizes there.
All right.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
So I do have a question. You also do a slam dunk contest and a 3-point shooting contest, and just use like you see at an All-Star game team.
Yeah, we took that model and we've built that out. We've had just recently Obi Toppin, who won the NBA dunk contest. His first dunk contest was with us when and I tell people all the time, like, I coached him through the dunk contest. He had no idea what he was doing. So when he won the NBA one, I took credit for it.
James, I really appreciate your coming in and sharing this with us, the vision you've had and what you've accomplished. Terry, you guys sit tight. I just want to ask Terry one quick question, because I had a chance a little bit earlier to chat with Steve Beck, who is the executive director of the Military Bowl Foundation. And that game is coming up. Tell us a little bit about that's on December 28th at 5:45. Tell us a little bit about the importance of that event.
Well, it's another event that's during that family time, something for people to get out and see and do.
This is at Annapolis.
It's at Annapolis at Navy Marine Corps Stadium. That venue changed over probably about 10 years ago. It was originally at the old RFK stadium, and then when they changed from being the Eagle Bank Bowl and transitioned to being the Military Bowl, it made sense that they would be on a military based kind of environment, and so moved over to Navy Marine Corps Stadium. It's been here ever since. Steve Beck and team do a tremendous job, not only with the football game itself and the matchup that they get between the ACC and the AAC. They do a tremendous job in the community with veterans, the parade, making sure that the athletes have a really great experience between the Washington D.C. and the Maryland and Annapolis environments, and very proud to be a part of that event as well, because of it's more than just a football game during bowl season. It's a community gathering. It's a place to celebrate together, and then you culminate it by watching a great football game.
All right. I had a chance earlier to talk to, as I said, Steve Beck, the president and executive director of the Military Bowl Foundation. The Military Bowl is coming up on December 28th at 5:45, and then we'll be back to wrap it up. Here's Steve Beck. Steve Beck joins us now, president and executive director of the Military Bowl Foundation. Steve Beck, good to see you. It's been a long, long time. I remember you from the Capital Classic days.
Yeah, good to see you too, Stan.
Really excited with the matchup we have here coming up December 28th. The game time is 5:45. Where will people be able, because we're going to plug tickets, but if somebody's watching this interview and wants to know where they can watch it, is this an ESPN game?
Yeah, it's live on ESPN. Yep.
Okay.
Saturday night, good time. Yeah.
Far cry from 2008. It's come a long way, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, we have come a long way. If you would have asked if I thought we'd be here today, back in 2008, I would say no way. But here we are, thriving and doing real well.
All right. 2008, the event was at RFK Stadium.
Yeah.
Tell us the importance of, and it used to be called the Congressional Bowl, but tell us the importance of the Military Bowl being played at one of the more hallowed military sites at the Naval Academy and Navy Marine Corps Stadium.
In 2008, before the game, the original name was the Congressional Bowl, and then it changed to the Eagle Bank Bowl.
That's right. Yeah.
And then we changed in 2010 to the Military Bowl. We had Maryland that year against East Carolina. It was a great Ralph Region's last day. But really, holding it at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, it's the perfect venue for what we're doing. And our main emphasis, of course, is to honor those men and women that have done so much for us. And we do that through a number of different avenues, all throughout the game day and all throughout the year.
So let's talk a little bit. First of all, I do want to get out the matchup because the teams were announced a few days ago. NC State from the ACC, 6-6 versus East Carolina, 7-5. And East Carolina was supposed to play a couple of years ago again. In 2021, they were set to go up against Boston College, but because of the pandemic, you had to kind of ice the game.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. 26 hours before the game, we're in the mandatory NCAA meeting with ESPN and all the bands and staff members, about 20-some people, and get this call from the AD at Boston College, Pat Kraft at the time, saying, "Steve, we're just not going to be able to go." I'm like, "What happened?" Well, we tested everybody for COVID, which a lot of people weren't doing. But anyway, they had over 40 cases, and East Carolina did not have one case. So,
wow.
But anyway, they were unable to field a team, and it was really sad. They were there. Geez, I think Boston College was there for 5 days. They came in 2 days early, and at that time, DC was just spiking, and we had to cancel just at the last minute. It was a real mess.
So when they got notification that they were invited this year again, doubly excited to come back to the Military Bowl?
Yeah, very excited. Both East Carolina and NC State are on the way back up. So
yeah,
East Carolina, had a little rough start there, and then they won 4 out of their last 5 games. So the only loss being the Navy. So they're doing well. And then NC State, they won 3 out of their last 5, and they've got this true freshman quarterback, C.J. Bailey, who's really good. Really has played well, and he's a triple threat kind of guy, and it's going to be an exciting game. It really looks to be a great matchup.
Steve, before we get back into what you do, what the foundation does, and it's 3 prongs around the game, the DC Touchdown Club, Patriot Point. I just wanted to ask you, this seems like a perfect geographical matchup. I mean, obviously, Maryland would be fantastic, But ha- do you take into account how accessible Navy Marine Corps is for the fan base of the two schools? Because this seems perfect.
Yeah,
North Carolina
absolutely.
traveling
Yeah.
to Annapolis.
Yeah, absolutely. That comes into play. And both schools are, a little bit over 4 hours away. Easy drive. They're both busing up. So, and they're going to be here for several days before the game. We have all kind of events scheduled for them and that kind of stuff. But East Carolina's fan base is rabid. I'll tell you, they'll show up big time, and we hope that NC State does as well. And from the early returns, it actually looks like NC State is maybe selling more tickets than East Carolina. On the stadium map that we have, they have more sold on that side than East Carolina right now. But that's probably gonna, even out a little bit. I would assume.
Want to remind folks the game, the Military Bowl, NC State versus East Carolina, 5:45 p.m., December 28th at Navy Marine Corps Stadium. Want to get into tickets in a few minutes, but I do want to talk about the work that the foundation does and the three prongs of the event. So, can you take it from there, Steve?
Sure. Well, actually, the Military Bowl game is our biggest event held annually in between Christmas and New Year's, the American Conference versus the ACC. We've sold out 5 out of the last 8 years. It's really become a sort of a fixture to the community, and with the support of Maryland State and Maryland Stadium Authority, that really been very helpful to us. And we've sort of come up a long way since the early days. I mean, we've had some crazy years there where we weren't sure whether we were going to be around. We were lucky enough to get Air Force versus Toledo in 2010. And in 2012, we had San Jose State versus Bowling Green. There's a whole story there I won't bore you all with, but it was amazing how we got that matchup. And then from there, really propelled into Navy Stadium. We had the first year there was Maryland versus Marshall, which was a great game. And Marshall actually beat Maryland that day. So, but from that point, like I said, 5 out of the last 8 years sell out. We hope to get close to a sellout or a sellout this year. I can tell you it's going very, very well the first day and a half here since the teams
That's
have been announced.
That's fantastic. Now, the work the Military Bowl Foundation does. Obviously, we're talking about the game. Tell us about the DC Touchdown Club and Patriot Point.
Yeah, so the DC Touchdown Club we brought back 15 years ago, and it used to be the number one ranked sports gala in the country by Sports Illustrated. 2000 and back in the day, 2000 all male, and they got whoever they wanted. Ronald Reagan, Muhammad Ali, Will Chamberlain, Sylvester Stallone, Supreme Court justices. I mean, you name it, they had them there. It was just laden with celebrities throughout the audience. So, like I said, we brought it back, and it really honors the Maryland, D.C., and Virginia metro area players of the year for high school. And we also do the high school coach of the year. We do the local college player of the year, the local pro player of the year, and then we give out a founder and lifetime achievement award. I will say that Mark Rippon is already in for this year's dinner, which is going to be in April of 2025 at a famous country club in Bethesda, Maryland. Let's just say it that way.
All
And
right.
we've had it there every year for the past 10 years, and it's just a terrific venue. We sell out. We've had Lee Corso, Mike Ditka, Scott Van Pelt, Doug Williams, Darrell Green. Again, the list
And I
just goes.
imagine Ripon is a big drawdown there
Yeah,
still to this
Ripon
day.
will be great. Yeah, we're going after a couple other pretty big ones, so we expect that we'll sell out again. But the dream there is to get that event back up to the old days. Maybe 1,000 people, and really bring in a couple other celebrities. And DC needs the DC area really needs a major sporting event. Um, Gala type event, because there's been a couple of them through the years. I'm sure you're
Yeah.
familiar with. We had Sneaker Ball, and then we had Fight Night, and those have gone away. So
Yep.
I think we could really fill a void there, and in Maryland, hopefully, but maybe even in DC, and we'll just see how it goes.
All right. That sounds good. Now, tell us about Patriot Point because I know that that is near and dear to the essential core of what the mission of this game is.
Yeah, Patriot Point is really a special place. It's located outside of Cambridge, Maryland, in a small town called Madison, the middle of nowhere, across the street from 28,000 acre Blackwater Wildlife Refuge. And it's a 294-acre retreat center for our nation's wounded, ill, and injured, their families and caregivers. We've been so fortunate, again, with the big support from Governor Hogan in the state of Maryland. We've made this place really special. It's like one of a kind. We have 2.3 miles of waterfront. We sleep 20 people. And what we do is we hold either recreational retreats or therapeutical and clinical retreats. We're really getting into the big clinical type retreats, and they've been wildly successful. I mean, we're really saving lives down there. And it's, we have hunting, we have fishing, crabbing, kayaks, paddle boards, motorboats, shooting ranges. There's just so much to do. We do art therapy, we do yoga therapy. We have a golf simulator and a hunting simulator, and the list just goes on and on. And the people that are going there are well worth what we're doing.
And
Last
and
year
the
we had
and the foundation funds it through the game.
yes, we
Funds
give money.
sending people there.
Yes, we've given a lot of money, close to $2 million to Patriot Point throughout the years, and we had 44 retreats last year, over 500 guests, basically booked all the time. So it's really, really is a special place, and we're very, very proud and know that we're doing good work.
All right. Well, you should be proud of that, and it is amazing, amazing work. Again, the matchup is NC State versus East Carolina, December 28th at 5:45 in the afternoon. If you can't attend, the game will be on ESPN. The way to get the way I see it, Steve, is this right? Militarybowl.org is the best way to buy your tickets.
Yep, that's correct. And you'll have two sections there, one for the foundation and one for the game. So just click on there and click your tickets, and we'll take care of you. It'll
All
be
right.
taken care of.
Is there anything we've missed?
No, I will just say that tickets are flying out. So, if you're looking for good seats or looking for VIP type experiences, please reach out right away. And we really expect a great day. I mean, we have during game day, we have Miracle on West Street, which is on Friday. We'll have the Budweiser Clydesdales and all kind of tents selling gear and food and all that kind of stuff. And then on game day, we start our parade at 2:00, which will start down at the city dock, and we'll go up to the stadium. Again, the Clydesdales will be there. We expect about 10 Medal of Honor recipients in attendance. Both team bands will be there. There's about 70 some different elements in the parade. The streets are lined, with American flags, and it's a very, very, very great.
Pageantry is off the charts. It's really very special.
Yeah,
I was remiss. You mentioned that there'll be events throughout the week leading up to it. Are there a couple you'd like to bullet point and let our folks know?
Yeah. For fans, just the two I talked about, the Miracle on West Street on Friday at 3:00, right in West Street in Annapolis. And then on Saturday, we'll have the parade, which starts at 2:00, which leads right up to the tailgate. We'll have Jimmy Charles, he's a local guy and now in Nashville. So he's going to be performing live at the tailgate. So that's going to be big. And we have all kind of tents. Every branch will be represented, and a couple of big tents for the teams. And it's going to be a crazy, great atmosphere.
All right. Again, the way to get tickets, and they are flying fast, militarybowl.org. The game is on Saturday, December 28th at 5:45, right in the midst of the holidays, right between Christmas and New Year's. Game time is 5:45. Steve, we really appreciate it, and it's great to catch up with you after so long.
Thank you for your time. It's great seeing you, Stan. All the best.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
And we thank Steve Beck again. That game, December 28th at 5:45 at Annapolis Marine Corps Stadium. That's the Military Bowl. Thanks, Steve Beck. We're back with our remaining moments of the last show, the last drawing a crowd, the Business of Sports Tourism podcast of 2024. Yep. Terry Hasseltine is my co-host each time, and he's brought in James Simmons, who's the Deputy Director for Wicomico County Rec Parks and Tourism. They've got the big Governor's Challenge basketball event which I'm blown away by. It's 5 days. James, again, remind folks where they can get tickets, where they can volunteer, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, definitely check our website, www.govchallenge.org, and then all social media platforms at GovChallenge. There's a ton of great content, promotion. You'll see all the top players that you can come see from across the country.
And you can buy a ticket for $15, get you into 14 games.
Yep.
So a little over like $1.10 a game.
Mm-hmm. And then there's
$1.08.
week-long passes. There's courtside. We got VIP tickets and recliners on the baseline. You got all kinds of options. So come see us.
Sounds good. Does it get any real press coverage? I mean, is it?
It does. Yeah, we broadcast on TV 33 games on Court 1, and then we live stream every single game through our partner Delmarva Sports Network. And then we've got national scouts, media, college coaches. We got college coaches flying in on private jets to come recruit the event. So
this guy could be the future executive director of Maryland Sports. Couldn't he?
Exactly. See?
Exactly. You're
Exactly.
Grooming. You're grooming.
The future's bright, isn't it?
A final word about what this James Simmons has accomplished with this event.
Well, I think, in closing out 2024, it's always great to pay respect and appreciation to those in the industry who go above and beyond the call of duty. And, obviously, James took an idea that started many, many years ago, re-envisioned it and refocused it with himself and some other key stakeholders. So whenever you get a chance to, be around James and see the work that he's doing, you just walk away in awe. And as someone who's been in this, industry for like 30 plus years, seeing the growth and his can-do and willingness to get stuff done, it's impressive. And the Governor's Challenge is a classic example of why Maryland is as successful in the sports tourism industry as we are, because we got people like James at the helm leading these things.
All right, James, thank you again. And again, the event is December 26th through December 30th down in Wicomico County, the Civic Center, plus a ton of other local gyms and down there. Yeah. Terry, it's been a pleasure for 2024. I really enjoyed doing these. I know you enjoyed doing them as well.
Absolutely.
And I think they're really growing.
They are, and we look forward to a great 2025 and beyond.
All right.
All right, sir.
For Drawing a Crowd, the business of sports tourism, for James Simmons, Terry Hasseltine, I'm Stan the Fan Charles. Enjoy your holiday season.